Here I go. All right, first, keywords. Figure 1 is made up of 4 identical rectangles and a square. The total perimeter of the objects in figure 1, which is over here, is 144 cm. The objects are rearranged to form figure 2. Okay, so the objects are rearranged to form figure 2, and the perimeter of figure 2 is 56 centimeters. The question is, what is the length of the square? In other words, they want to know how long is one side of the square. So let's begin. The first thing you want to take note of is that when answering questions like this, you should denote the different lengths with lines. For example, if this is equal to this, then the best thing to do would be to show that these are all equal. All right, now do this for all figures that involve area and perimeter. Likewise, if the rectangles are identical, then each of these sides are identical to the others. So just quickly annotate this with 2 strokes to show that they are all the same. And here we have a square which is not identical to the rectangles, which means that I cannot assume that the side of the square is either the length of the shorter side or the longer side of the rectangle. Hence, I will use a different annotation, and in this case, I will add 1 more line. We have 3 strokes. Now, do the same thing on the other side, because the other figure is also made up of the same objects. This means that each of these here should be made up of 1 line, each of these, and each of the longer sides here is the equivalent of each of the longer sides here. And so, since each of them have 2 lines, then I should do the same over here. Okay, now if you're wondering why I didn't put the 2 lines over here, it's because I'm going to show that this is made up of 3 lines for the square, and I don't want to confuse you. So here, this is 3, 3, 3, and 3. So let's go back to the question. The question says that the total perimeter of the objects in figure 1 is 144 centimeters. Okay? I'm going to call each of these shorter sides A, each of the longer sides of the rectangle B, and each of the sides of the square S. So, how many of A's are there in figure 1? So we can see very quickly that it is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 A's. And how many B's is it made up of? We can see it is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 B's. Okay, let's write that down. We have 8 A's, we have 8 B's, and finally, for the square, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that are of 3 strokes, and we called it S. So let me write that down, and that is 4S. Now, if we go to figure 2, and we were to look at the perimeter of figure 2, which is given to be 56 centimeters, then we know that if we were to add up this plus this, plus this, plus this side, the total is 56. Now, the next question then is, what is the 56 made up of? The 56 is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 A's. Now remember, these are all the A's that we have called on this side. So I really have A, 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 giving me 4 A's. And at the same time, I also have B, 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 and B. And this makes the perimeter of the square, of the big square in figure 2. And I'm going to write this down. B, 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 and B. So there are 4 B's. Now, since we know that the perimeter of figure 2 is 56, then we also know that this has a total value of 56. If this has a value of 56, then another of the same would also have a value of 56. Now, if you were to add all this together, you will get 8 A's and 8 B's. And 56 plus 56 has a total value of 112. That means that this box here that I've just drawn has a value of 112. So this is 112. The final clue given in the question is that the total perimeter of the objects in figure 1 is 144. That means that this entire thing is 144. So if this is 144 and the shaded blue box is 112, then I can find 4s by simply taking 144 minus 112. And by doing so, I will get 32 centimeters. This 32 centimeters that I've just found is made up of 4 sides of the square. The question is asking you to find one side of the square, the length of the square. And so my final step is to find one side of the square, which I know to be one side, 1s. And since 4s is 32, then 1s is 32 divided by 4, giving me 8. And the answer is 8 centimeters for one side of the square. Okay, once again, go back and look at this as many times as you need to learn from it. That's the whole point of watching this. And if you find this useful, share it with your friends. Also, if you want to learn more, please subscribe to my videos. And I'll be seeing you again. Have a good one. Goodbye.